52 years ago, our journey as a republic began. Along the way, there have been many successes, challenges, and threats. Notwithstanding, and importantly, as a people, we were resilient, focused, and resolute in our desire for a democratic, free, peaceful, and prosperous Guyana. As a people, we have endured many challenges, some self-inflicted, some imported, and some manufactured for a self-agenda. Tonight, I've decided to directly address what is required from each of us as Guyanese to advance this country and create the one Guyana. By now, we are all aware of the potential that exists. We all recognize what is needed to ensure that that potential is transferred into results that will bring a better life for every Guyanese. From the inception, let me be clear, I and my government are supportive of constructive criticism. To advance our one Guyana as a society, we must have healthy debates, exchange of views, and critical examination of policies, programs, initiatives, and plans. However, these discussions must not be based. These discussions must not be based on a selfish agenda, biasness, perception, propaganda, and feelings. Instead, they must be firmly rooted in facts and a pragmatic understanding of what is required in this rapidly changing Guyana. On this, our 52nd year of our republic, I wish to humbly examine 10 areas in which we, as a people, must understand our role, responsibilities, and function. We must address these 10 things at a personal level and ultimately at a country level if we are to pursue the right blend of character and traits that will make us successful people. Firstly, our attitude. What is the attitude required to be successful? Is it a complaining, negative one? Where does such an attitude take us? And what do we hope to achieve with such attitude? If, as one Guyana, we believe in the potential that exists, then we need to exhibit a positive attitude and a positive outlook. The chronic naysayers will find fault in everything we do. With a positive mindset, however, we will work to strengthen every decision and policy to deliver the best possible outcome for all. Attitudes set in misrepresentation, political mischief, and destruction will not take us forward. The rapid advancement of Guyana requires us to change the way we think, act, and behave. The scale of development dictates that our thought process must now address more complex and dynamic issues. For instance, we have not only just began thinking of how to become energy secure, the advances we made have now positioned Guyana in a place where we can contribute to the energy security of an entire corridor. Not only should we be thinking about how to catalyze development in Guyana, we should be thinking about how to advance new growth poles and centers, ensuring that every region benefits from the prosperity that is coming. To accomplish this requires a completely different attitude. The way we view safety, standards, and work ethics must all be addressed in creating the right attitude for a successful future. Secondly, our character. What makes us Guyanese? How are we viewed as Guyanese workers or as a Guyanese business person? Our culture is only one component of who we are as Guyanese. If I'm to ask every individual present what makes them Guyanese, I assure you, we will have varying responses from each of you. We must therefore settle on what makes us uniquely Guyanese. This ultimately determines the character of Guyana. We, the people, are the ones who give life to this country, Guyana. If we want the character of Guyana to be positive, then we must examine our character as a people. We must be known as people with fundamental principles and defenders of universal values like freedom, democracy, rule of law, equity, and fairness. Our resilience taught us many lessons. We must learn from those experiences in ensuring we charter a course that will bring prosperity to all in our one Guyana. Our character as a people must never allow our country to be among those where democracy and freedom are illusions. These attitudes, which we fought so strongly for, these characteristics and attributes that we fought so strongly for, must be protected by the people. You, the people of Guyana, are the shield against injustice, disharmony, bitterness, and mischievous chaos. Each of us, as individuals, must pledge that regardless of our religious and political persuasions, these principles and character that make us Guyana will never be sacrificed. The third issue is the narrative. As a country and as a people, we must write our own narrative for the future. However, that future must be mindful of the experiences of others and be flexible enough, although homegrown, to be globally acceptable. For this, the support of the regional and global community is essential. What do the habitual naysayers gain by portraying a continuously negative narrative? On one hand, we want sustainable and cheaper energy. And on the other hand, the naysayers throw every obstacle at achieving this. On one hand, we want a profitable and diversified sugar sector where our workers are transformed into skilled and semi-skilled functionaries. And on the other hand, the naysayers gripe at every attempt at partnership. Your government has outlined a clear and ambitious vision for our country that I need not repeat. This vision has been clearly articulated in our manifesto and in our free and democratic society. It is open for debate, constructive debate. Recall that it is on this vision that the government was given the mandate to advance the cause of every Guyanese. As your president, this is the narrative on which we are building our prosperous Guyana. There is absolutely no need to presuppose or guess. The vision is clearly articulated. Fourthly, our values and belief system. While we are a multicultural and multi-religious society, there are some common values in our belief system that we must inculcate if we are to build a stronger Guyana that will bring prosperity for all. We must celebrate each other's accomplishments. We must be open and transparent in the way we relate to each other. We cannot love God and hate each other. We cannot love Guyana or be part of the one Guyana family by sowing seeds of division and divisiveness. We must value education, health, justice, freedom, equality, and respect by ensuring equitable access, fairness, and investment that will allow our people to benefit. And our love for each other must be built on a foundation of respect, decency, and dignity. Those who do not share these values would see racism, divisiveness, and hate as tools to be used for their own self-gains. We must not fall prey to those pursuing this path. We have had 52 years of experience as a republic to understand the consequences of such a visionless and destructive path. Fifthly, objectivity. Being objective is being responsible. Objectivity cannot be based on unfounded perceptions, wild accusations, personal vendetta, social or political alignment. It must be based on clarity of thought. Objectivity requires critical analysis and not simplistic propagandist theorizing to achieve a self-serving outcome. Objectivity cannot be blindfolding yourself to reality. Objectivity is a key ingredient of a functional democracy. It requires honesty, integrity, fairness, and frankness. Anything short of these can be classified as self-opinionated, self-righteous, and plain selfishness. This cannot be part of the equation in taking our country forward. The sixth point, we must be realistic. We must be realistic about what we can and cannot do. We must also be realistic in our expectations. We must understand the environment in which we operate. Our continued experiences with COVID, the recent floods, and supply chain issues are fresh examples of how expectations must be tamed against realities. In being realistic, we must be humble to accept help in areas where we require help. Being realistic is being humble enough to say, I do not know, and reach for answers where they do exist. It is for this reason our local content legislation was developed with a realistic understanding of where we are as a country. Being realistic is also understanding that the commitments we made in the manifesto are to be achieved within 5 years, not 1 year and 2 years, within 5 years. And I assure every Guyanese, those commitments we made will be honored and delivered. The seventh point, achievable targets. Achievable targets cannot be 750 million United States dollars divided by 750,000 citizens, being equal to 1 million United States dollar per citizen. Not only is this mathematically incorrect, it is not realistic or achievable, much less sustainable. We have therefore set ourselves targets that are not only achievable, but are transformative in nature. For example, cutting the cost of electricity by 50%, 50,000 new house lots, 50,000 new jobs, 40,000 old age pension, 50,000 Because We Care grant, and 20,000 online scholarship, just to give you a few examples. These are all achievable targets, and we are well on track to the achievement of these. For these targets to be realized, we must invest in the social and economic transformation of our country. These investments include energy sustainability through the gas-to-energy and hydropower project, new shore-based facilities, new Demerara Harbor Bridge, major new highways, new farm-to-market access roads, support to the private sector in hotels and other tourism investment, expanded mining, forestry, food production, building the knowledge industry, and investments in education and healthcare with the maternal children specialty hospital and 6 regional hospitals. The targets we set ourselves must position Guyana into a strong global and regional player. Our strengths must be diversified, not only to be dependent on our natural resources. We are therefore building an economy that will boast world-class ecotourism, world-class urban centers, world-class agriculture and food production using technology, world-class health and educational services, and world-class environmental diversity and ecological services, whilst transitioning into new manufacturing, agro-processing, and industrial opportunities, along with the development of a hemp industry and its numerous spin-offs. These are just a few examples on the broad pillar of development our country would ride on. The 8th point, and very critical, is our governance system. To support all of this, our governance system must be efficient, reliable, trustworthy, accountable, simple, responsive, and flexible to the global environment to which we operate. These elements must be built on a modern constitution that must be developed from the people, a process that is ongoing. Our laws, being reflective of the direction and development trajectory of the country. The legislative and judicial arms of government must modernize and organize itself to meet the new demands of the future. The 9th point is positioning our country. We as a people must understand that what our country has to offer and where it will be positioned in the future. 19.5 gigatons of carbon, worth 195 billion United States dollars. Our forestry sector, with an estimated value of 500 billion United States dollars. Our gold reserves, with an estimated value of 35 billion United States dollars. Our bauxite reserves, with an estimated value of 1 billion United States dollars. Our quarrying reserves, with an estimated value of just over 1 billion United States dollars. Our silica sand, with an estimated value of 37.5 billion Guyana dollars. Our fresh water capacity is estimated at 4 billion Guyana dollars per annum. These characteristics of our country positions us to be among the best in food production, aquaculture, ecotourism, environmental services, forestry, mining, energy, among many others. Work has now started to realize this. It is our collective effort that will position us among the best globally in these and other sectors. Finally, our people. You, the people, are our greatest asset. This is the asset that must be harnessed efficiently to enhance productivity, stimulate creativity, and overcome mediocrity. It is for this reason we are investing heavily in education, training and development, and institutional strengthening. It is we as a people who must change our attitude, culture, and values towards the environment, society, and towards each other. That will ultimately determine our collective success as one Guyana. This is not the time in our history to sit back and watch the journey unfold. This is our time to embrace the train of progress. This is our time to embrace the demand our country make of us. This is our time to be positive. This is our time to remove negativity. This is our time to advance the future of our one Guyana. As we celebrate our 52nd anniversary, Republic anniversary, we must ponder on these points. And as your humble servant, I contend to do the same, as together we build the one Guyana we so desire. Thank you, and God bless you. Happy Republic.